Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Today is Wednesday, July the 12th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was solid. I'm going to give it a 7. Um let's start with Anna going into the spot, the building, the hotel room where the sniper shot from. And we see that someone has followed her and she lays them out, and it's Martin. He said he followed her because he saw her going around, and she said, dang, I must be losing a step. He said, no, but your fist isn't losing anything. And she's like, why are you following me? And he was like, because Valentine, everything with Valentine, he would want her to keep an eye on her. But she was like, well, what are you, because she was asking him, what are you doing here? And then he tells her, so why are you here? And she tries to play it cool, like, oh, I don't have a job. I have nothing to do. So I just thought I would investigate this. She was there when it all happened and everything. And he buys it. So they sit down and they just start talking in the crime scene, child. But he's asking her about Lucy, and why Lucy is acting so different with him. And so she was like, well, what was the last thing y'all talked about? And so he started describing their relationship and everything they've been talking about. And he says, and they're both not interested in marriage. And she said, not Lucy. That's not the Lucy I know. The Lucy I know loves being she's a romantic, and she loves getting married. She loves having a husband. There are some people that just love. Like when you see how many times some people get married, the Gabors, like, just they just want to be married. And so they don't get in relationships to just be in a relationship. Their end goal is marriage. And so she was like, that's Lucy. And he was like, no, she told me no. And she was like, what? Y'all talked about this recently? And he was like, yeah. So I think you're wrong about Lucy. And she said, you came to me for advice about your relationship. And your relationship was doing well until y'all talked about that, right? And he was like, yes. He was like, but why would she want to be married? We've been married. Both of us have been married numerous times. She knows how disaster the relationship is. And Anna said, well, we all knew that Martin, stop the cap. You don't want to get married again because you got one wife. The other two wives, yeah, they take a little money from you. But you got one wife that's filthy rich, and yes, she might be a shrew, but she's filthy rich, and you getting that 50,000 a month. And really, you don't want to marry Lucy because it's up to marrying Lucy for love or keep getting the money. And you already made your decision that you want to keep getting the money. So that's why you're doing that. I'm sorry, hold on. My food just arrived. All right, so she said, "Yeah, you want to keep getting this money. So don't act like it's because you don't want to be married to Lucy." And I said, "I wonder, is she the one who came up with the idea of the deceptor?" Because Martin's in it some kind of way. I don't know how, but he's in it. But we're gonna find out because Lucy and what's her name? Felicia have came up went over to Jackson Montgomery's office. They are in Port Charles, child, and they are not Port Charles, Pine Valley, and they are at Jackson Montgomery's office. And I said, okay, Walt, you still look very handsome. He still looks nice. He could be on these soaps right now, in a relationship or something. So I was like, okay. So they go into his office, and Lucy goes and speaks to him personally, while Felicia is outside and she's supposed to look around, but the receptionist won't leave. The assistant won't leave. So, but Lucy came up with an idea to make this elaborate coffee order that has the assistant having to leave the building to go and get the coffee. And so because of that, Felicia was able to snoop around, but she wasn't able to find anything, but there was a safe, and she believes that the files they need are in that safe. So anyways, Lucy ends up leaving the office, and Jackson tells her, I'll see you tonight at 8. And when they leave out, Felicia is like, girl, don't tell me you just made a dinner date with the man that we're supposed to be getting the information from. And she said, yes, but I was working up in there, but I don't see you did anything. And she told her, well, I couldn't find the information, but I know it's in that safe and I can break into it if I have more time. So while you on that dinner date, I'll be doing this. I said, why are y'all talking in this man's hallway? Leave and then talk, please. But let's keep going because that's it for them, y'all. It was a cute little storyline. I'm not gonna lie. Normally I'm bored by this, but Lucy is so funny to me. She makes any storyline good. So I was into it. So then y'all, we go over here to somebody please help Sasha. We see Maxie and Sasha is clearly high as a kite. I say, girl, I I don't know what her tolerance level on drugs is, but you don't feel high like because she's a she does have an addiction to drugs and pills and everything. I would think that she could feel like something is wrong. You know what I mean? And Maxie, I'm like, girl, she just thinks that Sasha is high on life. So Sasha's talking about, her guardianship's about to be over. She's trying to find a new wardrobe. She's ready to be seen. She's picking out things for Willow, and then she tells her, my doctor put me on this new this new um regimen to help me with my, her stress levels and all that. And so before Maxie could get into it, she gets a phone call from Georgie. And so Sasha takes another pill. Why are you taking another pill? What about this says I need to take another pill? Anyways, child. So then Maxie comes back and she doesn't see this, but she says, What are you doing? And she said, he put me on meditation. And I'm like, girl, and tell her about the pills. But anyways, Maxie's just like, okay, well, I need meditation and I need to find a house and I gotta go, girl, but you're all right. And she was like, yeah, I'm good. And I said, this is not the Maxie that I remember back in the day. Cause she would have got to the bottom of this. Like, what is it just meditation? Like you're acting differently. She would have got to the bottom of it, but the way they've written Maxie now, she just lets it go. So then Sasha is just flirting around and twirling and all this, and she ends up going over to Michael and Willow's place. So Michael and Willow are at home and they're happy to be at home. And I don't know why they had to put this in there, but she can't be intimate with Michael. And I said that makes absolute sense. That like what? But she can't be intimate with Michael or anything because she doesn't want to. The doctor told her that because they don't want her getting sick and everything. And I said that makes one. I understand that. So then Sasha comes over, and as she's there, Michael actually has to make a phone call, right? Well, actually Jocelyn calls Michael, and I guess she's updating him on everything that's went down. So when she updates him, Sasha's in there with Willow, and Willow sees that Sasha's acting different because when she first got there, she's talking about, I know we can't hug, let's close our eyes and wrap our hands. I said, y'all don't understand this girl. Come on, y'all. This is not how she's been acting. So, anyways, Sasha is super hyper, and she gives Willow the clothes, but one of them has a security tag on there. And I said, "Girl, you didn't buy the clothes." And she said, "But there are times when the person forgets to take it off." So she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." So they're sitting there talking and everything, and then the next thing you know, Michael comes back in, and she tells Michael, "This is a shirt you got to take Willow on a nice cruise." And they're looking at her like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" And then all of a sudden, Chase comes. And they're thinking he's there to visit Willow, but he's not. He's there to arrest Sasha because the girl didn't pay for the clothes. That's what he's there for. I said, Lord, y'all, please stop messing with Sasha this way. Now Chase had been with Brooklyn and Tracy earlier. Now he was still at the poolside, wrapping things up. Not wrapping things up, but just looking into things from the day before, taking any other statements that he could. And he's asking, he's asking the people, but then he sees Tracy and Brooklyn talking, and he could tell it's intense because Tracy over there telling Brooklyn, you need to get your butt back to work because I need more information. So when she does that, Brooklyn, Chase comes over and he says, what's going on here? And he starts asking questions like he should because he's a detective. So he starts asking questions about this looks intense. What are y'all talking about and all? And then he tells Tracy, they make a great latte here or a frappuccino. It was latte French. Anyways, I believe it's a frappuccino. He was like, they make a great one. And she's like, who puts ice in coffee? But she says, but I know you were trying to get rid of me, so I'm going to go ahead and go. So she leaves, right? And so he tells Brooklyn, what's going on? I know Tracy is doing something to you. And she was just like, Brooklyn can't take the weight of it anymore. So she was like, everything's fine, everything's fine. And he was like, no, you love your music, you love this and that. And now all of a sudden, every time you're around your grandmother, you seem stressed out. What is happening? So she finally, Tracy comes back, and she, is cold, using cold words to tell Brooklyn, keep your mouth shut. And Brooklyn can't take it anymore. She finally just tells Chase that her grandmother, is just too much for her, and she also helped with him. And he was like, well, how did Tracy help me? And so Tracy tells him, I helped you get your badge back. And he was like, what are y'all talking about? So Brooklyn admits that she needed a favor, and she called in the favor to the only person she knew that could help, which was Tracy. And when she did that, they were able to set up a meeting. And Tracy does admit, all I did was get them back in the room. Y'all are really the ones that talked to him as far as getting him his badge back, but I did get him back in the room so that you could have a chance to talk to him. And he was like, and you've been holding that over Brooklyn's head. And so he gets a phone call, and it's about Sasha, but then he has to come when he comes back to them. um Tracy tickled me. When Chase was gone, she told Brooklyn, have you been hit by a truth serum? How many people are you going to tell the truth to? Shut up. And Brooklyn was like, I just feel so much better. I can't keep letting this happen to me. I have to let this go. And she was like, no, you don't have to let anything go. But anyways, child. So Brooklyn keeps talking to Tracy, and Chase comes back, and he's like, Brooklyn, because Tracy says he's gonna want more answers to all these questions that you just given up. And so when Chase comes back, he tells Brooklyn, I have more questions and I need more answers. And she said, okay. And he's upset with her, and she's trying to tell him, I want to be honest, and I don't want any more lies with you. Because as she told Tracy, Chase doesn't want her to be perfect. He just wants her to be honest, and she wants to start being honest. And so he leaves her, and it's awkward, and she feels bad because she's like, oh, I've lost him again. But then he turns back around and plants a kiss on her. And she was like, it was worth it. It was worth telling him. And Tracy said, girl, you know you committed a crime by downloading all that information and giving it to me and stuff. So now Brooklyn's just like, oh, because Tracy always getting this girl into some mess, child. But y'all, let's move on from that. Who else was on here today? So then, speaking of all that, we finally go over um to the club, to Curtis's club, and we see Selena Wu. Gladys comes out with the doctor, and she's high on life because she's had a big win. So we know Cody Cody comes out with Selena Wu. Selena is not happy, so she sits down with Cody, and she's telling him what is going on. Why is Gladys winning? And we already know Cody is trying to get this woman to pay back, um, to pay back Selena, so she can stop using money from Sasha. She can stop stealing from Sasha or whatever she has planned for Sasha. Now at the bar, Gladys is talking to Sasha's doctor, and he tells her the medicine he gave with Sasha's antidepressants, people will notice the big change in her or whatever. And she says, well, I don't want to hurt her. I said, you got your daughter on drugs again, like on pills again. What you think you doing to her? All because you want her money. Please, somebody tell Sonny. And so Cody trying to listen to all this that's going on, but Selena is just like, I know you had something to do with this, because Gladys never wins, and now all of a sudden she's winning. And so Gladys and the doctor end up leaving, and that just leaves Selena, Cody, and Lee, her bodyguard, in there. And she says, Lee, go bring me the cars. And she told Cody, you better start talking before these cars get here. And he was like, oh, nothing. And then they look at the cards, child, and they're white. They have white ink on them. And so we know Cody has been rigging the games, losing on purpose so that Gladys could win or whatever. So I don't know, y'all. That was it. That was pretty much it with General Hospital today. We're gonna see that Selena is gonna be upset with Cody. She's gonna make him pay because he really don't want to work for her anymore. But she's gonna make him pay for doing this. And I'm like, if you would please just tell like Sam, investigate, because she's supposed to talk to Cody tomorrow. Investigate. Like y'all getting Sasha on this dangerous path, and maybe she's gonna end up going to rehab because she is that'll be her maternity leave or something. I don't know. But I know I'm sick of Gladys, but and all of that. And I am interested in the Martin Lucy storyline. It is intriguing me, but we'll see. Will they go back to Curtis and everyone tomorrow? But anyways, y'all, that was all I got for you for General Hospital. Let me be sure that I talked about everyone. Yeah, that's all I have for you for General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.